Blog Talk Radio. Has anyone ever told you you dream too big, that you have too many ideas, that you need to be realistic? What if there was a career and lifestyle that you could completely design yourself that enables you to do what makes your heart truly sing and helps millions of people benefit from what you have to offer? One that provided you with all the money you need to thrive, not just survive. That is the life of an enlightened entrepreneur. Welcome to the Aha Moments radio show, dedicated to the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs worldwide, with your host, Mariana Cooper, founder of Aha Moments Inc. and AhaMomentsInc.com. Her motto, oh yes, you can have what you want, and you deserve it too. Join us for the next hour and learn to trust your aha moments to lead the way to a passionate and purposeful life. And now here's your host, Mari.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aha Moments radio show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs worldwide. I am Mari, and happy Tuesday. We're here once again. It's our second show of 2013, and by next week we won't even be saying Happy New Year anymore. We'll just be into the full swing of things. I think everybody is getting back to, getting to the new normal, getting used to this new energy and getting used to all the shifts and changes. I'm seeing a lot of progression with people, in whether it's in the readings or just watching other colleagues online and seeing where everybody's at. It's always kind of cool to see where some of my favorite colleagues are in their businesses, and where they were in 2009 and where they are now. I was just watching one of my someone I really admire, Allie Brown, was on had a live cast today, and she's pregnant, and it's so fun to see her forward progression, and just watching everybody. It's a new time, and people's priorities are really, really shifting and changing. And today's show, we're going to talk all about setting intentions and the best way to ask to get what you really, really and truly desire. Now, I know that this is a topic that's pretty common. We've talked about it, in all different ways and shapes and sizes. I don't know that I've ever done an actual show on intention before, but some of the rules have actually really changed with all this new energy that we've been talking about. There's been a lot of shifts and just some nuances that we're going to talk about tonight to help you to sort of be able to plug in and really maximize what you're creating on this grid. Because if you don't set the intentions, whatever is sort of primarily in your waking thoughts is amplified so much more now than it ever has been before. So you're going to be creating anyway without really having any kind of control over it. So tonight we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the right way to ask. Now, is there really a right way or wrong way? Well, let's just say the better way to ask, because we're always kind of doing that. Before we get started, though, as usual, we have our housekeeping, and I see you guys are already calling in. We are going to be doing some readings tonight and answering your questions, as always. And so the number to call in for that is 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. And then Sam will get your name, and he'll let me know where you're from and put everybody in the queue so that we can get to your calls in the second segment of the show. So a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to get right into all the nuances of setting your intentions and getting what you most desire. We had a new moon on Friday, and it was the first moon of the new year, and this is a really powerful time for taking action and, basically hustling and moving forward, really pushing yourself through the comfort zones. And this is a really masculine time of year. This January, February, March, that was winter months where it's like high activity, high action, lots of to-do lists, lots of tasking, lots of meetings, lots of, selling, pushing, getting things done, hopefully allowing and not so much pushing, but some people are pushy. But, a lot of of activity, heavy activity. Then we go into more of a receiving time. April, May, June, we're going into the spring months, the birthing process, the receptivity process. And then we go a little bit more into, so that maturation phase over the summer, and then we go back into more of a masculine time in the September, October, November, and then we get, into the holidays. At November, you start to wind down November, late October, November, December, around the solstice, you're really back into sort of that feminine time, that spaciousness, that sort of reflection, maybe envisioning what's going to happen for the following year and that type of thing. One reason why I'm bringing up the energies, okay, is because it's really important, and we're talking about this in my course, The Path of the Lightworker. It's really important to work with what the energy is doing. So if you're trying to be high activity during the middle of the summer, like August, or it's tough. It's a tough time. It's really a time of receiving, and you're trying to be active. If you're just sitting around in January and February and sort of hoping things will come to your way and ignoring, the energy that's sort of swirling around and looking at everybody else in the gym and sort of sitting there still wondering about yourself, you are wasting time. There's just no other way to say it. And so a lot of times we get into, consciousness topics or spiritual topics, and people kind of think, okay, well, we can just, energetically just, like ohm our way to success. But there is a portion of it where you have to hustle, where you have to, whether it's, going to lose weight, or if you want to be in a relationship, or if you would have your own business, or there's many things, many projects you can be working on, but there are times of high action taking, and this is that time of year. So I would like you to really consider that and honor the energy. So and the other thing that you want to keep in mind is the moon cycles, and we've talked about this quite a bit on the show. But the moon, this new moon that we had, this is now a time of, not only do we have all this masculine energy of the new year and it's January and all that, but we also have a waxing moon. That's hyperactivity. That's like there's a lot of manifesting that can happen during this time. So maximize that. We don't have a Mercury in retrograde going on right now. We're finished with the solstice. I was actually saying in my class last night, this is the first time in history that we do not have the cloak of what's going to happen to us in 2012 over our heads, and that's for the entire world. So we've had this huge weight lifted off of the entire world's shoulders. Whether people believed it or didn't believe it, the whole group consciousness, now it's done. We don't have to worry about that part anymore. So, there's plenty of other things that are going on and swirling around, but just that aspect, it just lightens the load. No matter how you cut it, the energetic load is lighter, which means that you have more opportunity and a much easier road. So I'm not just saying it's easier because of this woo-woo energy and all that. It's just easier because the group consciousness isn't under a sort of screensaver of a death threat, of what could happen during, December 21st of 2012. So that, that part, we can let that go. We're done. But now you got to get out of your own way. And I don't know why I'm kind of feeling compelled to say all this, because I hadn't planned on it. But this, I guess that's what the angels wanted, because I called them in before every show. But it's really important to, if you're thinking you're being hard on yourself because you're taking too much action, you're not. Be pushy with yourself right now. Push yourself through this time. There will be plenty of time to rest in July. Right now, it's time to really pull out your piece of paper. You can even do it while you're sitting here listening to the show, or if you're listening to the podcast, pull out your notebook and really write down what is it that you truly, want to be. And if there was no chance of, massive amounts of rejection, and if money was no object, what is it that you'd really like to have happen in your world? The other question that you want to ask is, what's the thing that I'm most afraid of that if I did it anyway would give me the most progress? the biggest chance of success? I know I asked myself that question back in 2011, and I remember it very specifically because the answer was I was most afraid of doing a telesummit. I thought it was just a huge amount of work, just like it was something I didn't really know how to do, and I was just really sort of confused and about how to do it. So it was feeling overwhelming and all these speakers and everything. And I wrote this whole long list. It was like about 10 things, that I was afraid to do, that I said, well, this thing would give me the biggest jump in success if I actually did it. And so I said, okay, I'm going to spearhead that. And I tackled it. And that 11-11-11 telesummit was enormous. I mean, it went completely to levels I had never expected in it, took my whole business into a whole nother echelon. So it was absolutely worth doing. And now, we can kind of do a telesummit in our sleep. We don't really panic about it anymore. So, it's something that in this energy, it's going to be even easier to look at that list of things that you might be worried about, but would really be the thing that's going to set you on fire. Maybe it's losing 20 pounds. Maybe that little boost in your appearance is going to be the thing that really puts you in the zone where you feel confident to get the relationship that you really want. Not that somebody can't like you with the extra 20 pounds, but generally we like ourselves better with less of the 20 pounds, right? So we're going to present ourselves better to the world and to the opposite sex, or for some of you, same sex, but that potential significant other, right? We're going to present our own selves better. We'll feel better about ourselves, so it gives more space for someone else to feel better about us. So if that's what you need to tackle, forget about excuses. Just use this energy to do it. Push yourself. Stay up later. If you need to burn the midnight oil to get the book done, like you can hear I'm talking to myself, then burn the midnight oil. This is a time of the hustle. The hustle, the hustle, the hustle. And if you can also use the energy to your advantage, okay, and you ride the wave, it's kind of like surfing the wave of this energy, that, quote, hustle, unquote, won't be a really stressful, difficult thing. It'll be riding the wave and really cresting and getting so much momentum under you that it actually becomes easy, because it's not like you're going against the tide and swimming like the salmon upstream. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about setting intention. I see you guys are calling in, so if you are, just hang on the line. I'll definitely be getting to your calls on the other side of the break. Let's talk a little bit about this intention thing, because a lot of people get very confused. So we have the old kind of, I'm going to call the old and new ways, but it's really going to be more of some adjustments for now, for our new times. But let's just talk about what we're normally used to. So we're normally used to what we've heard is affirmations and vision boards, and saying affirmations over and over and over again. And, just kind of constantly being in the state of, asking, or they say, expect, or, there's all different kinds of things. In the new way, or this, and then that's okay. You do want to, I will say, dust off the vision boards. In fact, I'd say rip the old one up and start a new one for what you really desire right now. And understand two things are going on. If you say, what do I desire most right now? Desire, D-sires, of the Father. That means of spirit, of that infinite energy. Okay, and we always talk about us being that infinite ball of energy, our infinite selves, and then a piece of that infinite self chooses to sort of to come into an invisible body, which is our physical selves right now. And then the intuition swings back and forth between the two. Well, when you set an intention, or you set a desire, intention, I-N, okay, hyphen tension, okay? When you set that intention, you're going to the infinite. When you have a desire of the Father, that desire is actually coming from the infinite to you. It's letting you know what's available to you. So this is not creating things like out of thin air with all of your own action. It's actually programming the energy, or what we also call divine substance, the energy of you, and everything else, everything is made up of the same substance. So it's really programming the energy to bring or to become what you most desire. Okay? So now here's the interesting thing. You come up with ideas of things you want. Maybe you see somebody else has it, or you see it on TV, or you're exposed to something that you desire. But you also will get these inspirations. You'll get these ideas, or you'll just get this hunch. Like, I've never particularly wanted to travel all that much, but as of late, I all of a sudden got these ideas. Maybe it's time to go to a writer's retreat. I just was in one in Vermont. There's one in Paris I want to go to. That's been on my bucket list for a couple of years. I was like, I think this is going to be the year. Later on this year, I think this is going to be the year for that. And it feels stronger. It feels stronger. And it's not because I, as a person, I'm feeling more desire to go. It's because there's something in my greater self, that infinite self, that's saying, yeah, you're writing now, you're working on 2 books at the same time, and TV shows and all this other stuff. This is where it folds in and makes the most sense. And so you start to get this, like, almost like a heart beating kind of feel to it. It's like the beat of the heart sounds louder. It's like the energetic sonogram to your dreams. It's like boom, 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 boom. There's certain things on your vision board that are going to start to pop more than others. Certain things recede, certain things sort of come up to the surface. Why? Because your infinite self sees the greater picture for you. It flies high. It gives you it knows the aerial view of your life. It knows the different connectors, the different people that are going to come and go and help you. And so you'll start to get these desires or these inspirations coming from on high, and they'll feel sometimes for you like they're out of the blue, but it's almost like they come with a sense of urgency, and you'll know, wow, that's really, that feels really good. I think I'd like to go to Paris. I think I'd like to do that. Well, guess what? Before you panic about, but I will never have the money, or I shouldn't go, or I should pay off all these credit cards first, or this, whatever, you have the excuses. Before you go into all the reasons why you can't have it, remember that the desire is coming from that greater part of you to begin with. It's saying it's available to you. So whether it's the new home, the new relationship, the weight loss, whatever it is, it's coming from that greater part of you. There's no separation. It's just swinging into your conscious mind, your mental mind, so that you can start to use your logic to task it out. Okay? So we're working with both the inspiration and the logic. Logic is just, here's some steps that we can take so that this can be feasible, in a physical way. Right, you'll start to look at flights. You'll go and look at different potential retreats or whatever, what the curriculum is offered, to what the payment plans are, all those kinds of things, those mundane things. Okay, so we're not saying you just sit and visualize and then don't do anything, and we're also saying don't cannibalize your desire by mentally saying it can't happen if you don't, quote, know exactly how to do it. Right? So when you're thinking about setting your intentions now, understand that whatever intentions you have are really coming from a state of desire that came from the substance that you're going to work with anyway. So it's actually, when they say co-creating, that's what this is. That's exactly what it is. As you get this inspiration or this desire, you say, oh, wow, that feels so good. I think I desire that. I think I want that. So you receive the message. And then when you say, okay, universe, I intend to go to the Paris Writers Retreat in 2013, then you're saying back to the universe, bring it on. I'm ready. I'm willing to receive it. Okay, so you're actually working with the universe who infused you with the inspiration to begin with. So it's not like, and a lot of people get this confused. They think that asking for something on the universe is like asking a parent for something. And a parent looks at you and looks you up and down and judges whether they think you should have it or not, and whether you deserve it, and whether you've been good, or whether you've been a pain in their butt, or whether you should be getting it on your own, or, and they judge you. And then they say, okay, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, or no. Forget about it. Or they bribe you, if you do this, this, and this, and you can have that, that, and that. There's all this judgment and lots of heaviness around. The universe doesn't work like that. It's not saying, oh, you know what, you hurt somebody's feelings last year, so you're not going to get this year. They don't. The universe doesn't work like that. So when you make your intention, you're really commanding the universe into action. You're saying, I desire to go to Paris, and I command the energy to create and configure this desire into, to be made manifest, to actualize it into the physical opportunity. Okay? So I want you to just, on the break, we're going to take a quick break, and I want you to just contemplate that, and start to think about what you have on your bucket list of things that you most desire, and if you go down each thing, and this is really important to remember, you want to, and this is why you want to do a new list for 2013. I want you to really think about, if you look at the list of the things that you think you most want right now, I want you to go down each one of those things and ask, is this my own true desire, or is this somebody else's desire for me that I think I need to make happen? I had a friend whose father wanted her to be a doctor. And she went through so much schooling to meet his need for her to be a doctor. And she thought she was passionate about being a doctor, but she really didn't want to be a doctor. She wanted to be a writer. She had nothing to do with being a doctor. She didn't like science. She didn't like it. But she went through a lot of schooling before she finally said, I don't understand why I'm always feeling sick and I'm always feeling tired, and because she was totally out of alignment, because she was trying to create answer somebody else's desire, somebody else's intention. It's because her father wanted to be the doctor, and he said, well, if I couldn't be the doctor, then I'll have my daughter be the doctor. So you can't be somebody else's marionette. You're your own person, right? So you want to make sure that when you're going down that list, make sure that list is really genuinely what you desire and what makes your heart sing versus, trying to meet someone else's agenda. Okay, so if you'd like to call in and ask some questions of me and the angels and whatever powers that be that are swirling around tonight, you can do so at 347-215-9485. And on the other side of the break, I will get to your call. So it's 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we will be right back.
Do you ever get a hunch about something and ignore it, only to find out later you were right after all? Do you know that you're intuitive but need help interpreting what you get? Need quick answers to burning questions but don't have the time to wait for a private reading? Then Mari's Intuitive Living Oracle cards are the tool for you. 45 gorgeous laminated cards and a full book of interpretations come together in a beautiful velvet bag. The cards have been designed and energized to give you the answers right now. No more sleepless nights weighing pros and cons. Ask the cards your questions and see what message your intuition has for you. To learn more and get your deck now, go to the store at www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Intuitive Living cards now. That's the store at ahamomentsinc.com. The answers are truly within your reach.
Are you at a crossroads in your life, facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Step back in time to the very beginning before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Hello, we are back. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and tonight we're talking all about setting intentions. And I know it's a somewhat of a common topic, but we're in new times, so there's a few nuances that definitely apply to now that didn't necessarily apply to before. So what I wanted to just give you is one more tool, and then we're going to start take your calls, some of the callers. Again, if you want to call in, it's 347-215-9485. Okay, so one of the things that I found has been very, very helpful for both myself and my clients, especially when you're working with manifesting, is to designate days, different days to different actions. So there's your ask days where you sort of focus on the vision board and setting the intentions and stating to the universe, I desire, X, Y, Z. And you can just, do that as much as you want. You don't have to really do it a lot. We do, the universe hears you the first time. We do it over and over again for our mental minds to sort of stay out of the way. But, so you can have your ask days. But then you need to turn off the asking and just be in a state of allowing on your receive days. So one day you're doing the asking, the next day give yourself a full day of receiving. I also call them patience days and progress days. So there's some days where you're in a state of patience and you're just saying, okay, you know what, this is in the incubation stage or, kind of the growth stage. And then there's other aspects of your life that you're working on where you're in a forward progression day, where you're taking a lot of action towards it. So patience days and progress days. Genuinely, our energy is really very different when we're in these two states of mind. And if one of the things that causes churn in our lives and a lot of stopping and starting and people saying, oh, I thought it was so great, but then something happened and it's not so great. And then, then something happened and it looks like it was going to be great again. And then something happened. It's because you're going back and forth in your own energy, positive, negative, and so it's reflecting back on the energy back to you that way. One other thing that I would caution you, and I've seen people do this, is a lot actually, is that when something does show up in your world, please don't say, oh my gosh, this is so great. This happened, and this happened, and this happened. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange that this all happened? Well, no, it's not strange if you've been commanding the universe for however long that this is what you desire, and then it gets delivered. As soon as it gets delivered and you say, oh, my gosh, that's so strange, it's so weird, well, you're smacking it in the head and telling it to go away because you're judging it. So if you're going to label it as anything, just say, you can say, which would probably be better for the forward momentum of it sticking around, is how magical is that? How does it get better? Or what else is possible? Or, I'm grateful for the magic. Bring it on, bring more. But you don't want to say, how strange, how weird, because that's judging it and actually telling it to go away. It's saying, I don't really believe in this process. And putting yourself in a position where you're going to set yourself up for it to go away or for it to be a struggle to show up again, because you're always 100% of the time programming the energy. All right? So patience and progress days or ask and receive days, very, very great tool to have. and allowing it in. Allowing it in means being grateful for when it shows up. And if it seems, if it seems weird, use a better word like how magical, and you'll see a lot more of it come in. Now, one of the reasons why people will say it's weird or strange or something is because sometimes when we do get something, we feel we don't deserve it, and it's some sort of subconscious way of saying, telling it to go away. Or sometimes too, and this is a little bit more advanced, but we receive something and it comes with a new set of responsibilities that we weren't necessarily, that we're a little afraid of. Sometimes we're afraid when we get the things that we really desire because it requires us to take on something new, something different. I know, like when I was using that example of that telesummit I did, I expected maybe 400 people to register. We had over 7,000 or 8,000 people register for this thing. I expected 4 countries. We had 85 countries. So the amount of work and the amount of churn, we're getting 1,500 to 2,000 emails a day. And we had this little tiny staff because I hadn't any idea that I needed more people. We're like adding people in the middle of it. All of a sudden it was like, whoa, this is what success feels. Oh my, there was a lot of growing pains along with the joy of that success, that tsunami of change, right? So that goes hand in hand. It's not all, change, and even manifesting your dreams and desires is not always sunshine, lollipops, and roses. It always comes with something new that may be a little disconcerting. Ask the people who are getting married. They're thrilled to get married, and then it's like, oh, my God, I'm getting married. Having a baby. They're thrilled to have the baby, but, oh, my God, I just had a baby. There's a lot that goes with that. So there's always two sides of it. You don't want to cancel it out, though, because you're witnessing the I call it the dark side of the dream. What you want to do is ask for support and encouragement, ask for resources, ask for a higher capacity to assimilate the new energy that comes with the change, then instead of saying, oh, that's so weird, oh, that's so strange, because then you're just pushing it away and you're going to have to start all over again. And when you have to start all over again, it's even worse because you're starting all over again with the consequence from the last time your energy kind of screwed it all around and then you have to overcome the fact that it didn't work the time before and manifest it again, which is always harder because now you're manifesting with baggage instead of that fresh kind of clean slate. So the less baggage you can create along the way, the more confidence you're going to get going forward. If you didn't get what I just said, because it's a little complex, just rewind the podcast and listen to it again, because that's really some really good nuances of all of this, and that's some of the stuff that happens when people think they're stuck. They're not really stuck. They're actually crisscrossing energies. So with that, let's go and see who we have on the line. I think we have Juanita in Arlington, Virginia. Hi, Juanita.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, great. First of all, I want to thank you for all your wonderful work. And I do have a question. I've been working on myself for years in terms of love and money. And what I want to ask my angels right now is there anything specifically I have to do, any modality, any technique, just what I have to do, and in what ways are the angels actually willing to help me?
Well, it's interesting because there's nothing that an angel won't help you with. So you can call in angelic assistance for anything that you're going through, including clarity. And that's something that I think is a really good prayer for you, is can you please give me clarity on what in my energy is creating the physical circumstances of where my money is right now. What in my energy is creating the physical circumstances of where I'm at in relationship right now. And I would probably tease the two out separate from each. I know you mentioned them both at the same time, but both of those have a lot to do with your own self-love and your own willingness to receive within your own world. And so currency, if you look at current, it's the current. It's flow. It's flow. Relationship is very similar energy. And so it feels to me like, first of all, what I'm getting is that there's a lot of fear that you're going to not have enough love and you're not going to have enough money. And so that fear kind of drives you as opposed to the potential of, what's around the corner. So from your angels, the message for you is to ask for the healing of the fear and then be willing to take the actions that are brought to you step by step. One of the other things that, Juanita, that they're saying you're looking for is you're looking for the entire map all laid out with guarantees before you're okay. That's not how spirit works.
No, and I know better.
Well, you don't have to put yourself down. You don't have to judge yourself for it. Everybody does it. We all, listen, there's certain aspects of your that come easy. Health is a little easier, maybe, some other things. Work is a little easier, but your Achilles heels are, let's say, money and relationship. So when you're in those two zones of your life, you want more guarantees, a higher fear factor. And so, but that's your fertile ground.
Okay.
So what you want to do is, as you get an intuitive hit to take an action, please stop sitting and analyzing it and waiting for proof that it's going to work before you're willing to put one foot in front of the other. Just take the action, whether you know it or not. If something says, go out with that person, like, Google them and see if they're a felon, and, and then, like you start going down your list of all your to-dos and does and don'ts and all your rules.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, I know. No, but that's locking yourself in a space. That's something.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't know why I couldn't hear you.
Oh, no, it's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Cool. So,
when you were talking about divine substance and setting an intention, you said something using the word command, and I missed it.
You want to just command the energy to do what it is you desire.
The energy. Okay, it's the energy. Okay.
Energy. But this is one other thing I want to say before I let you go, and that is, just because you're a Virgo doesn't mean that you have to fall as Virgo. And my sister said something to me. It was so funny. I was laughing. She says, "Well, I know I'm vengeful, but I'm vengeful because I'm a Sagittarius and I have to do it." I said, "No, you don't have to do it. You might feel like you're hyper honest, and Sagittariuses are hyper honest, and maybe if you consider, being that way part of your sign, it doesn't mean you have to act on it. It means that you can be aware that might be a tendency, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not the excuse for being that way. So when you're talking about, well, you're a Virgo, I know you're very detail-oriented, and I know that you're very, you have a lot of, critical kind of thinking going on. However, it doesn't mean that there isn't room for a balance. And that's what the money area and the relationship area are training grounds for you, is to kind of find balance. It's, just like a Leo, we like all the bright lights, but we have to learn how to be organized too. It's not, we can't just be in the bright lights because otherwise it won't function. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're going forward. But I think you're going to be doing really well this year if you allow it through and don't beat it up too much as it comes.
So very much. Thank you.
Well, have a great night. Take care.
And you too.
Thank you. Okay, you know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to take a quick break now, and then when we come back, we'll take some more calls. The number to call in is 347-215-9485. It's 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show. We'll be right back.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Do you ever get a hunch about something and ignore it, only to find out later you were right after all? Do you know that you're intuitive but need help interpreting what you get? Need quick answers to burning questions but don't have the time to wait for a private reading? Then Mari's Intuitive Living Oracle cards are the tool for you. 45 gorgeous laminated cards and a full book of interpretations come together in a beautiful velvet bag. The cards have been designed and energized to give you the answers right now. No more sleepless nights weighing pros and cons. Ask the cards your questions and see what message your intuition has for you. To learn more and get your deck now, go to the store at www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Intuitive Living cards now. That's the store at ahamomentsinc.com. The answers are truly within your reach.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show. We're back from our second break, and tonight we're talking all about setting intentions and doing it the right way so you can get what you most desire, especially now in this new time, this new energy. Two things I did not mention in housekeeping, and that is I am still doing some readings for 2013 Outlook readings. They're angel Outlook readings, and you can go on the website at ahamomentsinc.com/readings. /readings to sign up if you'd like to get one of those. And also, we just started our Path of the Lightworker class last night. If you like this show and last week's show, and we're starting to get into some more advanced kind of, information, especially working with this new energy and kind of getting on your feet going forward, that's a really great class. You can get the first recording. You can still register. You can just get the recording of the first class, and you can join us live on Mondays. We're going to be doing it for 4 more weeks, for 4 more Mondays. We have a great group from several people from around the world, and so it's a really fun group, and we're going into a lot of really cool information that I have not taught before because the angels keep interjecting things that are not in my notes, so it's quite interesting. So you can do that at ahamomentsinc.com/lightworker series, so LIGHTSERIES, Lightworker series. All right, so why don't we take some more callers? Again, if you want to call in, it's 347-215-9485. Hopefully we can get to a few more of you. So, Annette in California, you're next. Thanks for waiting, Annette. How are you?
Hi, Mari. I'm a little under the weather, and I was guided to listen to your show since I didn't have any energy to be creative. But I'm getting ready to bring Heart Path healing out to the world, and so I just signed up with someone who will help me do that. And I've got my brochures and I've got my website almost created, and I was guided to get some feedback from you. So I'm just excited that I have the chance to say hi and appreciate any guidance that comes through.
Well, what do you have a specific question in directly, because it's short?
Well, how about I loved what you said about accommodating the new energies, because I've had such expansions, and it's been really wonderful. And then I can also have times where, like, I've been fighting off the flu this week right after I took another big step towards expansion. So,
yeah. So, it's interesting that you would get sick right as you're stepping into this expansion phase, and that's.
I can't hear you, Mari. Is there a problem on that end?
Let me see, Sam. I don't know. Can you hear me now? Let me just see. Okay. So, all right. So Sam had to mute you just so that, because he's getting a lot of feedback on the line. So I'm just going to say my piece, and then we'll unmute you and let you say your piece. When you're dealing with getting sick, it's funny. A lot of people, that happens for a lot of people. They're feeling like this sense of urgency to move forward, and especially in a path that's new and exciting. And they hire the coach or the helper, and they get their website going, and they start to get the pieces together, and then they kind of hit a wall. They get sick, or a relationship breaks up, or some sort of shift happens. So really what is feeling for you is that you're kind of detoxing portions of your life to make room for this new expansion that you're asking for. And remember, when you start to expand like that, there's got to be room made for it. And so a lot of times we'll get sick because our energy is sort of shifting and shoring up. I'm not so sure that you're having a real classic case of the physical flu. There is such a thing as like the energetic flu, where your whole system is sort of shifting and changing, and your physical body is just sort of manifesting that energetic shift and change. And I'm sure you're kind of aware of that type of thing. And that's what it feels like is going on for you. So I would this is also a time where even though you're in that expanded, you're going towards that expansion, and you're starting to put the pedal to the metal, you want to make sure that you have balance, and that you take that time to nurture yourself. So this is really sort of your body just purging the old stuff. The other thing that you want to kind of keep in mind is that the past is not something that we can go back to, and it also is not something that we have to solve and finish every single thing in our past in order to have forward progression. So it's okay if there's some loose ends that haven't been all perfectly tied up for you to go ahead and be successful in what you're most desiring to do. Don't feel like you have to sort of keep bouncing back and forth, or that you're going to hold up your success until you feel like everything from the past is solved. Because there's some things that just aren't meant to be necessarily solved until you are successful in the new path. So I'm going to just stop talking for a second if you have any comments, because I know Sam has to unmute you and mute me.
Sort of like, okay, my great expansion self and my infinite being, and then my muted body. The dance between the two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so did that make sense for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's that... sometimes what I gets when I go through so many energetic shifts, and it's sort of my body catching up, and on this plane, then I get concerned that I'm, when you were talking about, this is the time to really manifest, and I was just starting to laugh and going, oh, that is so not where I am right now.
Right. Well, you are, but it's, understand there's a lot of stuff that happens in the roots of the soil, So
yeah.
When you say manifest is not necessarily all the blossom on the tree. You're especially when you're starting out in a business, you're putting your roots down. And that's why, sort of the tree can be pruned a little bit with the sickness, because you're sort of shoring yourself up. But don't think your roots aren't growing deep because you're doing a lot of contemplation while you're sitting there.
Yeah.
And you're doing a lot of clearing, just the energy, just the swirl of the way your thought processes are going, and you're sort of shifting gears. And even in a car, when you shift gears, it pulls, then it's...
Yeah, it's very much going from more on a one-to-one sort of doing my work with people and going more out into the world. That's the major shift that I'm about to take.
Yeah. Do you have feelings, a fear about going in front of more people?
Once I'm doing the work, no. It's always in the gap that I've had the fear. But once I'm doing it and once I'm with people, I don't at all, because Spirit just comes through so strongly, and I love the effects of the work and how people are shifting. And it's so much fun to watch people come into the power of who they be and who they are. So that just is so exciting for me to be a part of and watch people shift. But it is very different for me because I've done it much more on a one-to-one basis and in an office, and now taking it out to do it on the web and do it, things like that is going to be a major shift.
Right. And so it's a piece of very different to all of the market. It's one thing to work with the clients that are already in the room, but to actually get the clients so that they show up in the room, that whole marketing thing where you have to literally sell what you're doing and you have to say this is how much it costs and this is how much, this is how I do this, and, communicating with the emails and sometimes feeling like you're going to be talking about yourself or promoting yourself or selling, which you have to do all of that in order to get all those clients in the room to watch them shift. Is that the piece that gives you some anxiety, or do you feel comfortable with that?
That's one of the places where I'm not as comfortable. My father was a salesman, so I grew up sort of watching the sales and always felt like there was a phony aspect to it, and I never want to bring that energy into it. So there's been a lot of different things coming up in my field in the last week around like unauthenticness with sales stuff, and I really don't want to do that myself, and that I think that is one of the blocks for me.
Yeah. Because there's always the two parts. I have never met a practitioner who didn't love working with the people that they in their modality. It's the marketing, a whole nother animal. That's to the people, yes, I do this. Yes, I have to share. It was funny because Allie Brown is a major marketing coach on the internet, and she's phenomenal. You might want to look her up, Allie Brown. And she did a big live cast today, and she had, I've watched her evolve over the last, 8 years or so. But she did a live cast today, and she God bless, she had 4 hours on the air, with cameras and the whole thing. And she had a chat feed spinning down at the bottom of the thing. And people were tearing her to shreds, They're like, oh, my God, this is all sales. And I'm like, people, how can you actually going to buy, you're not allowed to talk about it, It's like, so you're going to get, no matter how well you communicate what it is you have to offer, you're always going to get people who are hyper sales sensitive and they want everything to do for free, and you're just going to have to sort of know that the way that you write your copy and the way that you present what you do is your own, from your own organic, heartfelt place, with a strong, clear, call to action that this is how much it costs, and this is how you're going to benefit. This is how you're going to benefit from it. This is how much it costs, and you have to stand by it, because otherwise you will not have a full room of folks to work with. And I'm sure you'll have your coach and your people that you hire to help you get through that stage. But I think that, the flu is a very interesting manifestation as you're getting ready to start marketing. Oh, can't write those emails because I got the flu, So it's called the marketing flu. It's not the real physical flu. It's the marketing. I've coached thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs in my day when I was doing marketing with the manifesting stuff. Now I just do the spiritual stuff. I gave up the marketing coaching, but I would see it all the time. It was amazing what kind of things could come up when it was time to actually sell something.
So you don't have a magic pill.
There's no magic. It's called. I'll tell you the magic pill. The magic pill is doing it, and that's you have to just trial and error. And you are going to have people. Anybody who tells you're not going to have people that come after you, and it's not necessarily. But as long as you feel that find people.
You're fading in and out again. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, you probably can. He probably had to mute me again. But all I was going to say is that your people will, if you find your own niche, they will be thrilled to hear what you have to say, and they will have no problems with allowing you to let them know how much it will cost for them to work with you. So I think you're going to do great, and as long as you have clarity around that, you can just ask your angels for some support and for some confidence. Archangel Ariel is a great archangel for this kind of thing, especially getting your work out to the world like that. Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel happens to be for courage, and of course Archangel Michael for energetic protection, and Archangel Raphael is wonderful for healing. So you put that little posse together, and I'm sure you're going to be on your feet in no time and moving and grooving, and just keep yourself surrounded by people who are already successful at this stuff, and you're going to do great. I think you're on your way, and kudos to you for being willing to get your work out to the world.
Very much, Mari, for the reading and the feedback, and it's amazingly how much courage all of this takes. So I will call in Ariel with great glee.
Beyond anything you can ever imagine, and even when you have vats of courage, there's not a day that goes by when you're an entrepreneur working your passion that you don't face fear. And people think, anxiety and fear is eliminated because you do a radio show or, you're good in front of people. It's never 100% eliminated. If it is, you're not doing the right thing, because you're always going to stretch yourself, and as you stretch into unknown waters, there's always a little bit of fear, but there's also ways to work through it, and you just feel the fear and do it anyway. So enjoy, and I know you're going to be super successful, so good luck to you. And thanks for calling in tonight. I greatly appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, Mari. I really appreciate you. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, too. I appreciate you, too. Have a great rest of your night and feel better. Okay, well, you know what? We are actually got to the end of the show, and it's a really, really wonderful time. And really this whole idea of courage is really important, because all of you who are listening, you all have that gift. You all have that thing within you, many things within you that really need to see the light of day. And please don't think that if you have fear or anxiety that it means that you're not going to be good enough, or that it's not worthy of you trying to get it out to the world, or that you should stop. If anything, if you feel that fear around it, you need to look at it closer, because it's probably something you really need to do. Probably something that has a tremendous amount of success swirling around it. And that new energy of success that you might not be as familiar with, especially doing something you love, is letting you know to come forward. But it still feels unfamiliar. And sometimes something that's unfamiliar we misidentify as being scary, when it's just, I'm not familiar with that, so it's different. It's not necessarily scary. So make sure that you're registering fear for the right things. And other things could just be, wow, that's interesting. I'm curious about that. And there seems to be a lot of energy swirling around that. And I haven't experienced that before, but maybe that fear is really excitement about the potential, as opposed to fear about potential, failures and all that other kind of stuff. All right, so I would highly recommend that if you are ever going to take a step forward and give something a whirl, it's now. There's no better No better time. And so I'm going to end the show like I always do, where I say, and I really mean this, you truly can have exactly what you want. You absolutely deserve it too. And in this energy, absolutely anything is possible. See you next week, everybody. Have a great night.
You've been listening to the Aha Moments radio show with your host, Mari. Be sure to visit her blog and website at www.ahamomentsinc.com. That's AHA, moments with an S, inc.com. Also join Mari on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ahamomentsinc and Twitter at twitter.com/ahamoments. We can't wait to see you there.